Bridget let me read it, and I said, we have known each other since college.
We went to college.
Went to college together.
I love your movie. This is so thought-provoking and fun and quirky and out there. How did this come about?
Thank you for the compliments. I was inspired by my own experience as a parent. I have 2 little kids. Those are the little kids in the movie, actually, are my children. And I just was thinking a lot about the experience of taking care of young children and the changes that your body goes through as a parent. And I just felt like I was in this endless cycle of feeding children, cleaning their toys, dealing with my own body, dealing with their body. And I had this image of starting to vomit Legos as part of that experience. And it just grew from there.
And ultimately, that's what happens to Claire's character in Blocks. Yeah. First off, how did you create that effect?
That definitely involved a green screen. I pretend vomited.
Yeah, some of it was practical. There was a medic on set.
I had
They were sterilized.
Yeah, Legos in my mouth with this disgusting, it was like a gelatinous stuff with Metamucil. Yeah. And it didn't taste bad, but it looked so bad that it then tasted like your mind looked at it and it was so gross. And even though it didn't have a flavor, it was pretty gnarly.
It had a powerful effect.
Yeah.
And then we had a vomit cannon that our special effects supervisor built, and we shot that on a green screen at the same angle as Claire in that scene, and then we did a composite.
Why Legos? Why Lego blocks of all the toys that you could have picked?
Yeah, it was, I just had the idea that it was like one of the most inorganic things that your body could have produced was a plastic block, a plastic toy brick, or toy block, and that, there's such a strong connotation. People are like, oh, well, stepping on them are the worst. It's the worst. And the idea, like, they're everywhere in my life. They're under furniture, they're very hard to clean up, they're very small, and I just felt like it was a perfect sort of encapsulation of the insidious mess that happens with little kids, whom I love very much, very happy to be a parent. This is just also part of the experience.
So how did you go about casting Claire?
We did a pilot last year. Bridget wrote a pilot script that I read, and I said that we should make it, provided I can star in it, because it had a fantastic role for myself. So we did that last year, sort of not knowing anything. It was, I've worked in TV for a zillion years, but not on that level where it's like, okay, you are producer and line producer and like just every craft, like all of it. So it was really fun learning experience. We did that. And then after that, Bridget did the AFI Directors Workshop for Women, and this was the script. The Blocks was the script that she submitted to them to do as her project, and I weaseled myself on board this one too.
It's so impressive. I mean, you tell such a story in just 10 minutes here, and you get such a sense of the characters and how they're approaching parenthood. How do you condense all of that into 10 minutes?
Well, a lot of it is having a very good actor is very helpful, who can tell the story very quickly with her performance. But it was also it was a good lesson in economy, and the idea of like, I really wanted it to be as visual as possible, and that I told the story visually, that the camera language told the story and the production design told the story, so that every frame had as much information as possible. And then I just was very deliberate about it. And I like to improvise and I like to hang loose a lot, but I still storyboarded this like within a second of its life, and then that gave me freedom when we were actually shooting to try different things, but I knew what I needed everything to be to get as much across. And then I was merciless in the edit. And if something didn't work or didn't further it or wasn't directly about Claire's character and Claire's experience, it went out, which was a little bit heartbreaking because there was some stuff that I would really loved, but it wasn't perfect for the story.
Could you see an expanded version of this?
Oh yes, we can. Claire?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to do the pitch?
We as an episodic series, there's been about 8 episodes sketched out following, and with the idea that each episode it would be a similar type of
like some expressionistic elements, some magical realism, and it's about domestic anxiety. It centers on this family, but it's somewhere, it's not quite an anthology. It's the same characters every time, but these different things happen, and the different sort of, different like heightened reality of domestic life in each episode.
Interesting. Yeah. I love that. I think that's so cool. At the end, when I don't know how much I should give away, but there's an elaborate Lego sculpture or dwelling, you could say, at the end. You guys had to build that.
We
right?
did. Yeah.
How was that process?
It was really incredible. It was our production designer. When we were interviewing production designers, she brought a sketch that was very close to exactly what I had imagined, so that was great. And so we built it in my house. That's my house. We shot the film in my house. And we built it over like 2 weeks. And it was in sections. And my children live in my house, and they were like desperate to play with it. And I was like, you can't, it's art. But they got to play with it at the end, not as much as they wanted to, because we had to dismantle it pretty quickly because we had to keep filming. But it was a labor of love. I found it so satisfying, so visually satisfying, and I loved building it. But it was really painstaking. I mean, and it pays off, but it was like a lot. It was a lot of work. And then basically we had to build it around Claire, because we had to hook it all together when she was in there. And then, we'd like give her little sips of water and let her check her phone while she was trapped in there.
It was cozy. I felt good.
Wow, I love it. Well, I so want to see this episodic series now.
So do we,
Great.
Christian.